What is up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Nova Scourge. Yeah, I'm super duper excited that Scourges are still going to be part of the game, and we're looking at a new Scourge that's going to be independent of the year-long chase of that Dark Dimension. So it's even more fun because it is, it's not a temporary thing, but it doesn't have these crazy impacts on your roster, besides just a new legendary, which is exactly what Omega Red used to have, except more people are going to be getting the character. I digress. We're rambling. I'm not actually going to be on camera today. There was an ice storm this week that basically trashed my house. The basement flooded. It's not great. It's not fun. But we still got to get the content out to you guys, and I was excited to talk about this, so it's giving me a little reprieve. I'm rambling again. Let's get into this fun video. So just so that everyone is on the same page, let's quickly go over the blog that told us the Scourges were still going to be coming back. They were saying that we will see a return to Scourge-type events with some interesting new twists to the designs and revamped rewards. These will be similar to the traditional legendary events in that they are treated as standalone encounters. So that's right, there's no kind of apocalypse tie-in. The revamped rewards, it kind of intrigues me. I hope they stick with the ranked reward structure, where it would be, 7 stars if you got top 500, and then 5 red stars if you got top 50, and then 4 red stars, and so on and so forth. And it sounds like Nova will probably be a dark promotion character as well. So if you are excited for Nova, you want to make sure you have him as big as he can get right away. Maybe start holding on to those now. We'll see how good Nova is. In the comics, he's amazing, so expect good things. So they will be part of a grander story being told going into next year, but not all characters released along the way will be required for the narrative. So not all characters released along the way. Maybe we're going to see these legendaries required, or maybe they're just going to be amazing in Dark Dimension in that legendary nodes. Let's continue. So, with the incredible power possessed by Nova, including access to Nova Force, he will be the second character, even after Red Hulk, to have impressive battlefield effects. Yes, I'm very excited for the battlefield effects. We'll see what it's going to be. It seems like they don't know either, which is kind of funny. So, let's get down to the requirements. So, for this event, you're going to need to be player level 50 plus and have at least 5 characters in any combination of the following. This is like, I guess, shrouded language to say, like, these are the characters for nodes 5 and 10, basically. So the team Masters of Evil, the team X Factors is a 4-person team, and then the new character coming out this patch, Quicksilver. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to show these characters in action in Dark Dimension and in Scourge, and we'll make some assessments on what we think is going to be the best characters to invest in, and then we're going to talk about some things that players should know when they're investing in these guys. Alright, so quick recap on our T4s and ISO 8s for the Master of Evil team. And I will give a little disclaimer here. This is only for Scourge. I redid the T4s differently than what it'd be for Crucible, because some of their effects are Crucible only, and it loses a lot of value. So for Moonstone, I like her as a striker. We're going to see why in the video coming up. But for Scourge, she literally doesn't need any T4s, which is very nice. Absorbing Man, I want him as a raider. I went back and forth on this. He doesn't take many attacks, but when he does, he can do an AoE on that special. He's not super tanky, so barrier healer might have been nice there as well. But I want more ISOs, some more vulnerables to hit into, rather. So I like the basic on him, getting you some more deflex. I like that ultimate, make sure you're clearing all those debuffs, and that's going to be it for Absorbing Man. Then we have Kang the Conqueror, absolute necessity to have him as a striker, and all the T4s are super impactful for him in Scourge and in Crucible, so there's lots of good overlap there. And in Arena and in War, he's just an amazing character. Then we have Ultron. I went back and forth on this, and honestly, I can't make up my mind. It's going to depend on what the nodes look like if you want Ultron as a raider or a striker. I don't want him eating up those vulnerables from Moonstone or from Kang. And him having a 100% crit chance on his ultimate is kind of nice too. So I personally lean a little bit towards Raider, but I 100% see the allure of Striker here as well. And for Ultron, we want all T4s except the ultimate. Then for Titania, we would definitely want her as a Raider, at least for Scourge. None of the T4s are a necessity at all, but if I were, it'd be the special and the ultimate just for that raw damage. So let's check out some content of this team tackling, unfortunately, just Dark Dimension 3, but we're going to see some interesting aspects of this team in a more prolonged fight. Alright, so here we go. So this is Dark Dimension 3. This is like the node that gave everyone a really hard time when this mode first came out. Obviously, we've out-leveled it. We've definitely outgeared it. We had more ISOs now than we had before, if we even had ISOs back then. So it's not a good example of what this team is capable of. But unfortunately, I can't bring them into Dark Dimension 5 because of the different traits they have, and they can't all be used in Scourge. The Scourge that we did have open, which was the Archangel Scourge at once either. So unfortunately, that's the case. But what I want to show here is I just checked the energy out on Moonstone. This is after I switch her to a Striker. So as she sees, she has her ultimate is just used. I just now used her special. She now has 0 energy. And what we'll notice along the way is that these Ultron bots are doing a really good job tanking some hits for us. That's going to be a reoccurring concept in both of these fights, that the mobs are doing a lot of work for us here. We just re-showed the energy from Moonstone, and now we're about to see what happens after she attacked into a vulnerable. Look, so she basically got all her abilities back up again, because we used her basic into a vulnerable, which got her 2 energy, plus the energy she got on that turn. So she's going to be able to spam her abilities. They're not super duper impactful, but they're definitely going to help you get lots of defense downs out there, for Kang to clean house, hopefully start carrying, Ultron to pop off, get some more bots out, and own the field. So that's our Masters of Evil in action. Let me know what you think about them. But I do think they're going to be the main team for most people. Just the new stats alone over the X Factor team is going to make them more appealing. And the fact that they have this amazing use in Crucible. And probably for the next year, they'll be amazing in Crucible, right? And they're getting work. Kang is part of the Apocalypse Darkhold canon, or at least he was before the Apocalypse rework again. So I do think they're going to be the main team. I think the nodes will be tailored around you having them, because lots of people have X Factor farmed. They want you to use the new team, so it needs to be built for them. If you are investing in only one team, you definitely want it to be this team. And if you're only pushing to get like a 6-star, if it's the same reward structure, then I think Masters of Evil is going to be the only one you need to invest in. So that's it for Masters of Evil. Let's go look at our B team. Alright, so I'm calling this team X Silver, and I think there's a lot more synergy here than people are giving it credit for. So let's just start with the T4s and Iso-8 again. For Shatterstar, well, for all of them. You want Raider on all of them. The only one you won't want Raider on in other modes is going to be Quicksilver. I think he's a much better striker. But for the synergy of this team, him as a Raider is kind of crazy. So for Shatterstar, we only want the ultimate and the passive for sure T4, but you're going to have a lot of value in that basic and special. For Quicksilver, you want everything. He's going to be the new, sorry, excuse my language, he's going to be the new hot shit when he comes to the game. So you're going to want T4 him in every way anyway. Then we got Multiple Man. He's going to be the unsung hero of this team. As we're going to see with his use in an upcoming Scourge video that we're about to show, the Archangel Scourge, his dupes are freaking crazy. Absolutely crazy. Him as a Raider, he's actually only going to use his basic every once in a while. So, like, his dupes critting does not give the X Factor team speed. I still use him as a Raider anyway, just because I don't think Barrier or Healer is going to help him in any way. You definitely want that ultimate and the passive T-Ford. The special just kind of removes more debuffs, which is kind of whatever. And the basic is just a little bit of damage. More damage the more dupes he has, but he hits like a wet noodle, so I don't think that's valuable either. Then we got Longshot. The only thing you need to have T-Ford on him is the passive. However, every single one of his abilities is super impactful on the actual amount of damage they do. So, though they're valuable, they're kind of like super valuable. Take for that what you want. And then we have Polaris. Probably you want to use the special. Make sure it's an auto crit on the primary target, so you're feeding your speed meter. And then the ultimate, if say one of the nodes starts with a dagger and the enemy team just has a bunch of rejuves, she can flip them all right away, and then your enemy team is in big trouble. So with that said, let's go ahead and watch this team in the, well, it just finished, the Death Scourge that we just had. All right, so here we are, and you'll see this team is about 1 million. Now, I don't have Quicksilver. The reason I'm using Emma is because she's going to kind of emulate what Quicksilver does. I'll just show you this was on difficulty 9, not many Scourges show. But what Quicksilver does that Emma's kind of emulating here is that he has pretty quick speed. He's at 125, then he takes 2 turns out the gate. As a Raider, because all his hits are multiple hits, his special, his ultimate hit everybody, his basic hits a couple times, he's going to get crits. He's going to fuel the team, and that's exactly what Emma does. Emma lets Shatterstar go first, and then it fuels the team. The thing about speed bar is it's better. It's better than the speed difference. So Quicksilver is going to make this team even better. I need to almost pause this. Hold on. We got to pause this because the fight's about to end. This team is just crazy. So you can see the amount of barrier and health they have. That's absolutely crazy. You can see the amount of dupes that were on the field. I was trying to get arrows pointing at that, but I got to talk over this. It's gonna be in the past. And then we can see the enemy turn count. That's gonna end at 8. Hulk is gonna get pushed. He gets speed bar. It's the only reason he gets some turns. So you can see how this team still functions with power creep stats at difficulty 9 of current content. The Death Scourge is current content, like it or not. I know a lot of people are discounting this team. This is only level 90. These are not even level 95 characters, so they have some room to grow as well. I do believe this team is going to be impactful heading into the Nova Scourge. Let's let this play out. We're going to see Hulk's going to take 1 turn, and then that's it. He's going to get taken out. So I really like this team. I think they're going to surprise people. Is it a secondary team? It's hard to say. It really depends on the node composition. If there's squishy characters on the enemy nodes, X-Silver is going to have a lot of value. Nonetheless, though, they're likely a necessity for people pushing ranks 1 to 50 or 50 to 500. If you're trying to get those extra yellow stars and the red stars, you're definitely going to want to have your X-Silver team ready. Another thing that I found was very interesting about this team is they're less susceptible to Scourges we're familiar with. Think about anti-healing. Well, at least they get barrier, so your dad bros are not going to get the healing on their turn. Neither is multiple man, but they get a lot of barrier. They don't rely on deflex. So what's going to happen is they're not going to get stunned like Absorbing Man will when he spawns with those deflex. The one thing they are susceptible to, and so is Masters of Evil for the record, is minion killing teams. So if there's a Death Pool, or if there's a Jubilee, or even a Lady Deathstrike who can get a ping off that, or Starlight T'Challa, then you could have some trouble there. But that's going to be true for Masters of Evil, a little bit less so, but still true nonetheless. So I think this team is a lot more interesting than people give it credit for. But are these cookie cutter teams really the best? I mean, are these cookie cutter teams going to be the best options? And I think the answer to that is pretty obvious to everybody. It's no, of course not. We're going to need to make some changes if we want a super team. So if you do want a super team, I think this is the easiest swap for you. Absorbing Man he's a one-trick pony. He starts with taunt and he lets his team go. So him doing that for the Dad Bros is actually pretty good. It won't do as good as Emma or as good as Quicksilver, who's going to be fueling that speed bar, but he'll protect them from the opening onslaught and let Shatterstar get that ball rolling. Will that team make it nearly as far in Scourge? Absolutely not, but they'll still get off the ground. And then Quicksilver moving over to a Masters of Evil team, you'll probably make him as a striker for that team, and he's going to be popping off. He's more sustainable because he's going to have those Ultron bots healing him. He's going to be getting offense up, though he kind of gets all those turns by himself, all those abilities by himself on turn, which he'll also get from the X-Factor team, by the way. So he'll definitely pump some damage, help Kang carry, because the thing about Masters of Evil, if they get behind and people start dropping, they cannot recover the same. So with Quicksilver there, they kind of avoid that problem. But before you go and you start upgrading your Masters of Evil to level 95, putting extra red stars on, before you do that for X Factor, let's talk about some things we've experienced in the Scourge past that we should learn from. I am, of course, talking about the other 8 nodes. So nodes 5 and 10, these are our teams. They're going to have to work. The developers had to make the nodes workable for these teams. What we don't know are the other sections. Now, we've been surprised by a couple of the sections in the last 2 Scourges. The minion node. I don't think we'll see minion nodes again, but that was a curveball. Maybe we'll see a skill node or a tech node or something crazy like that. And then we had the skill nodes. I guess we already had skill. We had the skill nodes in the Red Hulk one. And those nodes were super tough. They were a lot harder than, what was it? Ravagers node? The Ravagers and Heroes Guardians? It was a lot harder than those. And also, to a certain extent, the non-legendary mutant nodes that we had in the Death Scourge as well, though that kind of quickly got solved with Death Seed members and X Factor, as you just saw. X Factor is what I use to get top 50 in the Death Scourge, for whatever that's worth. So I think we don't know everything we need to know to prep for this. So what I'll say is exactly what I say every Scourge. Start hoarding up some stuff. If you want to be really successful in Scourge, you're going to need to hoard up a lot of gold, a lot of training materials, and a lot of T4s to be ready for this. Last time, I think I recommended 20 million gold on the training materials to bring a character from 1 to 90, and I think 3,000 T4s. I think the 3000 T4s is still probably on the money, but I think you're going to need to up that gold amount and those training material amounts, especially if your X Factor's at a very low level, because if you're not a war player, maybe you didn't care to build it. So what I would recommend if you're trying to really compete, you want to hoard like 40 million gold. I know that's a crazy number, but you want to be able to bring your team up to level 95 if you're level 95, or 93, 94, 92, whatever level you're currently at for these Scourges. Because those levels, the difference in stats from levels 90 to 95 cannot be undervalued. It is a crazy, crazy difference. Trust me, I've been getting my ass kicked in Crucible long enough to know the level difference is real. So yeah, if you want the number one tip for the Scourge is Horde. Welcome to Marvel Horde Force, everybody. Enjoy your stay. I know I am because of all of you, and have a good day.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.